Hi guys, and welcome to the channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. I really do appreciate it so very much. Welcome, my name is Aiden. I'm so happy that you are here. I feel like I'm having a bit of a Mean Girls moment. I did not mean to be pink on Wednesday. I'm filming this on a Wednesday, and I was like, oh yeah, just felt the pink eyeshadow, and then like had already put on the pink shirt, and then was like, it's Wednesday. Did not do that on purpose, but not that you're going to see this on a Wednesday. Maybe I will put this up on a Wednesday. Who knows? Anyway, I wanted to go over my eyeshadow palettes for the month of June. I know it's been crazy. I didn't get a chance to film them because one, I was out of town, and two, like I didn't bring half of these palettes with me, but I want to film them before I head back home because school's starting. Ugh, not ready for it. But I have 9 palettes here. I want to talk to you about them, decide if I want to declutter any of them. I don't think I do. Kind of like my July one that is coming up. I've already filmed it. I'm filming them out of order. I don't think I want to declutter any of these. Part of the reason why I filmed them out of order was because this palette that I'm wearing the eyeshadow for today, I realized I had only used it 2 times and not 3 times because I was sick, and so I didn't wear it a 3rd time. So I was like, I'm gonna give it one more try, really like solidify my thoughts on it. I did try to put a Jelly Much shadow on top of it, but it was pretty dried out, so I don't think it did much. I need to get, I've heard people talk about Duraline. I want to try to get that to revive my Jelly Much shadows, because I'm sure my Villains Collection one, they're all doing the same thing probably. Anyway, let's get started. Before I show you my palettes though, please let me know how you are doing. Let me know if you've tried any of these, what your thoughts and opinions are on these palettes, and if you haven't already liked and subscribed, please do that as well. We got a crazy of assortment of palettes this time. So we have not 1, not 2, but 3 Pat McGrath palettes to work on. I have a Pure Celebrate Your Selfie. We have a Fenty Beauty palette. We have Flower Beauty. There's also ColourPop and Morphe 2, and finally YSL. So a wide variety of palettes. Before I start, let me know what you think my ranking is going to be on these 9 palettes, the 3 Pat McGraths. So I have Midnight Sun, Decadence, and Divine Rose 2. Let me know what you think my ranking is going to be, and then let me know at the end if you feel like my ranking was where you would rank them. Okay, in 9th place, in last place, we're going to go with Pure Celebrate Your Selfie. Not so much like the packaging. I have to show you the packaging though. It has all of this. It did come with eyelashes and like a lip gloss and eyelash glue, I think. But I did take those out. And then it also comes with 2 blushes and a highlighter, which I did use as well. But I wanted to show you all the fun with it. And then it says 16 because this was like for their 16th birthday. I'm not going to swatch all of these because, see, those are chunky glitters. I am not going to swatch those because I do not want to have to deal with the fallout from them and all the glitter everywhere. So that's actually one of the main reasons why this is in last place, is because of all those chunky glitters in there, because I will never use them. Okay, I'm going to start with the 2 blushes and the highlighter. So that's what they look like right there. Just swatched them on the inside of my wrist. Hopefully you can see them. Not the best swatches. This is why I've been trying to go to the swatches on my hands instead. So you do have 13 non-chunky glitters in here. You have some pretty ones. This one had a ton of fallout. Oh my gosh, so much kick up. There was a little bit with this one, and yeah, so that's what they look like. I had to remember which ones I was swatching and where it was. There's some pretty colors in there. There's some nice formulas in there. There you go. There's some nice shades in here. I don't hate the Pure formula. I don't hate this palette. I don't like the chunky glitters in here, and that is why it's in last place. But overall, it's not too bad of a palette. Then we're going to go to 8th place. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. This is the YSL Couture Color Clutch in shade 1 Paris. And this is what it looks like. So this is what I'm wearing on my eyes. I have this pink in my crease, this under my brow bone, and then this one all over the lid. So yeah, they're not overly pigmented. Let me swatch them so you can actually see them in their full glory. So packaging, 10. Gorgeous packaging. It has like some cushion to it. It reads very luxe. The color story is kind of fun. There's some bright colors in there, that yellow, that purple, that pink, and that silver. You feel like you're going to get some really great shades out of here. The performance, mediocre at best. That silver shimmer, it's so weak. I'm going to put it up close. I know the shade is going to change, but you can see how it is, especially compared to the other two shimmers in here, the two golds, the bronze and the gold. Much better shimmers in that bottom row than that silver. Silver disappointing, yellow disappointing, purple kind of patchy, disappointing. The light colors disappointing. Overall, just disappointing, especially compared to other things in their price range. I know that people don't always want a lot of color, but I want something a little bit more than what YSL gave me with this one. So glad that I got this like super clearance price, but yeah, just not great. I mean, that's what I'm wearing on my eyes, so you can see how it works in person. Yeah, just, it wasn't it. In 7th place, we have from Flower Beauty. This is the Sugar Rush palette. It does come with a little brush. I have not tried the brush. It says a $6 brush included. Ooh. So this is what the color story looks like. It's pretty colors. There's some purples, there's some browns, there's some pinks. You have some good colors in there. The problem that I found with this is that they are pretty pigmented, and it was really easy to lose control of the look. It was hard to, I wanted something that was just a little easier to work with, that wasn't quite so pigmented right off the bat that then all of a sudden you felt like it was kind of out of control. There are some nice colors in there. I like the pink. I like the shimmers, especially this shimmer right here, which is this crazy blue-black kind of shade. The one across from it is nice too. Overall, it was just an okay palette. I want to work with it some more, kind of play with it some more. Maybe even try the brush someday. Who knows? I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I felt like it was probably the most difficult to work with out of all of them, just in terms of formula. They're very, very soft, so it was very easy to get too much to kick up. It's one that you definitely need to tap your brush off, and I didn't really have the luxury of that where I was. So I struggled a little bit with it, but I still think the color story is pretty in here, and that's why I want to keep it, because I really like the color story. But the formula, not my favorite. I would like to try something else from Flower Beauty though, because that's one of the few things I've tried from them. Are you ready for the shock of your lifetime? In 6th place, I had to count backwards. We have a Natasha Denona palette. Yes, this one is pretty low on the list. This is the Decadence palette, which is one that this is the most expensive palette that I bought ever. And I really, really wanted this palette, and it did not perform. It was not as much as I was expecting it to be. So, I don't remember which version of this is. It has, it's the gold version. There's the black version. They did it as the Star Wars, but yeah. I don't know. I mean, I look at this and I'm like, oh, it's so pretty. And I was so drawn to this color story. But did I have an easy time trying to figure out looks? No, because it's all shimmers. There's no mattes in here. So it's an all shimmer palette, which is difficult. The color story is a little bit all over there. You got some blues, you got some grays, you got purple, you got a couple, bright colors. This one looks a little bit more orangey, depending on how you look at, like looking sideways, it looks like orange, but looking front ways, it looks red. You got that one. I don't know what was going on with this. But it was difficult to come up with eye looks for it. So as difficult as it was to create looks with this, the quality is there. It is a gorgeous palette. I mean, look at how saturated those shimmers are. You have a punch with each and every one of them. A couple of them are not quite as shimmery as others. Like that purple in the middle is not quite as shimmery. You can kind of see that, but and neither is this blue. I was like, which one? The blue here on the bottom. So there's some beautiful shades in here, some beautiful shimmers. This is an accent palette though, which this is too expensive for an accent palette because these are $129, $125, somewhere in there. And it's so shiny, I'm going to put it away. Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. Just not a good, like, I want something that I can use one and done if I need to, but I can also, you know, pull it into something else if I wanted to. But just, it's all shimmers. I was like, these looks are crazy. I felt so overly made up when I was doing looks with it, because I was like, I'm just gonna use these. Gotta make it work. And it was difficult. So that's why it's in where it is. Not the quality. Quality is good. Halfway through, we have She's Got Solstice by ColourPop. This one has some good colors in it. This is what the color story looks like overall. Yeah, there's that one weird shade. It looks really weird. So I said it has a nice color story, good quality, weird textured shade, and the mattes are better than the shimmers, which I definitely think you can see. Well, hopefully you can see, but the shimmers are a little chunky. You really have to work them in or else they're just a little funky. But I really liked all the mattes. There's a matte there, you just can't see it because it's so white. I don't know what to think about this one shade, this gold. As you can see, like, it has a couple different colors going on there. It's this weird texture. If I kind of wiggle it around, it still stays there. It changes a little bit, but this is what it looks like. I'm just going to swatch it on my palm. It's weird. It's almost like a glitter. I don't know how to describe it. It's not my favorite though. I think overall, if you just kind of ignore that one shade, it's a nice palette. But that one shade is just a little weird. Not my favorite type of a shadow. I'm keeping it for the mattes though. I feel like the mattes are really good. You can do a lot of like good looks, light, neutral kind of looks with it, and you get a real sense of the quality and the consistency of it, which is what I wanted from this. This next one might be surprising where it is, but it's a Morphe 2 palette. It's the only Morphe 2 palette I own. It is from Hawaii with Love. It's one of their little 5-pans I picked this up at Target because I was like, oh, I like the color story. And yeah, it's been a nice little palette. Well, I have sparkle all over still from that other palette, so I'm going to go wash my hands after this and then we'll finish off the rest of the palettes. But that's what it looks like. You have the 2 shimmers in there. You have 3 mattes. You're going to get kind of a basic eye look with it. It's very self-contained. I said contained story, easy to use, pretty user-friendly. What more can you ask for? I like the color story. This is a type of color story that I gravitate towards quite a bit. So yeah, I mean, look at those shimmers. Very pretty shimmer. I like that one in the middle. It's probably my favorite shade, but I think they did a good job, and it was easy to use, which I really appreciated. So in third place, I have Moroccan Spice by Fenty Beauty. I believe I got this in a BoxyCharm or Ipsy, something like that. Anyway, it has an interesting color story. There are some very pretty shimmers in here, but it was uneven in the application. Some of them were very pretty and I really liked them. Some of them not so much. I actually debated whether I should put this one or the Morphe higher, but I felt like this one had more variety, so I wanted to rank it a little bit higher. I thought that some of the shades were really pretty. I haven't worn all of them. Like, I know I haven't worn the gray, and there's a couple of them, this bottom row, that I wasn't sure if I had worn or not. It was kind of hard to tell if I had swatched them at all, to be honest. But here we go. We have all of them. Some of them you're going to see did not swatch very well. I know the shade changes, but you can kind of see how they're a little bit more patchy than others. A couple of them were very, very light. I really like the middle, the pinks and purples, and then some of these shimmers up in the top. This one is more of a topper. This one right here, it's very light. This one right here, you can see. I don't know. Is it the best palette ever? No. But did I hate it? No. I actually kind of enjoyed it. I know some people really, really hated this palette. I didn't really, really hate it, but I didn't find it to be that terrible of a palette either. So yes, I liked it, but it's definitely not 1 or 2 spot for me. In the number 2 spot, we have another Pat McGrath. This is the Midnight Sun palette. This one is the first 12 pan palette that I got from Pat McGrath. Is it? No, it's a 10 pan palette. Sorry. I got this one on sale from TJ Maxx online. They had it for like $69, which was still a lot. The one thing I don't like about this is all of my boxes have come damaged because of the way they are put together, which is kind of frustrating. This is just the plain black, like you would expect from Natasha or from Pat McGrath. Why do I keep wanting to call this Natasha Denona? Because they're both really extensive. And then you have this Color Story. The Color Story is not my favorite, I have to say, but there are some really pretty shades in here, and the quality is here. That is why it is ranked so high. So that is what they all look like swatched. I will say I liked the Color Story more than I thought I was going to like it. I was a little nervous about it at first, and I got some nice eye looks. There are some special shades in here, and to be honest, I don't love her special shades. Like this orange, not a big fan of. This one is okay. The blue, they're almost, I don't know, they have a drier feel to them. I like just the plain old shimmers like this one, that blinding shimmer up at the top. I really love that one. This one I don't mind, but it's not my favorite. The gold, meh. I could probably do without the special shades and just have like this quad or this 6 over there. I don't know. So it's a nice palette. Are they worth the money? No, they're not worth $129 or whatever. Even at $70, they feel like a little much. The mattes are very soft though. I will say that. The dark brown is a little patchy, as you can definitely tell, but I feel like they don't blend. That one did not blend out very well. I don't know. I like it. Is it a love for me? No. If I had just stuck to that, would I have bought any more Pat McGraths? Probably not, but that wasn't the only one that I tried, thank goodness. So that brings us up to our number 1 palette. Our number 1 palette is another Pat McGrath. This is the Mothership Divine Rose 2. This is the third and final of my 10 pan palettes from Pat McGrath. There's a couple more that I would like. They're all in the same kind of color story as this one. As you can see, it once again is the black, but it doesn't have the gold accents like this one does. And this is what the color story looks like. You have that one. As you can see, it looks kind of greeny when you look at it in the mirror, but it does not look like it from straight on. Isn't that weird? So that's what the color story is. Let me swatch it really fast. Here we go. Those are the 10 shades swatched. Hopefully you can see that one kind of is shifting. It's a little difficult to capture on camera. I get it more in person. I think this one is so much better quality than either of the other two. I get the same quality of the shimmer shadows in the Decadence, but the mattes in here are so much softer than in the Midnight Sun. I think she did a really nice job with this. I like everything about it. The one shade that kind of shifts is probably my least favorite. I wonder if I can get it to shift again. There you go. You can kind of see the two different colors there. But other than that, everything else I really enjoy in this palette. I think there's some beautiful shimmers. There's some beautiful mattes in here. So that is definitely why it was number 1. This is also why I couldn't film this, because I was on a plane. And I wasn't going to take all of these precious, expensive palettes with me to try to film while I was at camp, which I wouldn't have had any time anyway. So let me know if you've tried any of these, what your thoughts and opinions are on them. If there are palettes that you want to see me work on next, let me know down below. I hope you're all having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I can't wait to talk to you next time.